Hey, what's up? It's Chris from Finsta. I'm here to help you stay on the right side of this AI-driven change. And in the last 10 years, we have taught over 20 million people in AI and tech. Okay, so let's get started. In today's video, we are going to analyze the Nvidia company using the new ChatGPT model. So my previous video on this had like 150,000 views on this exact topic, but this was with ChatGPT 4.0, so I decided it's time to redo the video with the new version and check how good it is. And a financial analyst in the US makes an average of around 90 to 101K per year. So the question is whether a simple, so-called simple model, AI model, could actually do the job of a financial analyst, maybe even better. Because many financial analysts in the US and everywhere in the world actually do one DCF, discounted cash flow model after the other. So if ChatGPT can do the same job quantitatively, qualitatively, it would basically be worth 100K per year, right, for many companies. So obviously we will see more and more financial analysts become AIs, or maybe the other way around, it will democratize access to financial knowledge, which is good for retail investors like probably you and me definitely. Okay, so let's dive right in. So I always use Firefox. This is a technicality. Firefox for screenshots, right? Because you just Google Chrome has no way to do screenshots. Okay, so the technique is simple. You open the Yahoo Finance page. Just type in finance.yahoo.com. Look at the quote you want to search. So for instance, you can search for Nvidia Corporation, and you will land on this page. And this page, basically you can scroll down and go to the statistics page. I'm currently at statistics. This was wrong. So the Nvidia statistics page, it has different, like for instance, you could also look at the summary or historical data, profile, financials, and the more input you would have into your analysis, the better it would become, or you'd at least expect that. Okay, but we start with a simple way. I just want to show you a quick and dirty way to accomplish this. But it's already, like, the results are already shockingly good. Okay, so first what you do is right click, take screenshot. Very simple. We don't bother writing a web scraper or finding the financial data or something. We just take a screenshot from the page. Why screenshot? Why not just save the page as view page source or something? You could also right click view page source, and then you would have the code. But oftentimes the data is actually hidden, so to make it difficult for web scrapers. But the easy way is just to take a screenshot, a visual screenshot. What you are seeing, you put into the AI, right? This is already, I mean, it's simple, right? But having access to this kind of financial data, it's really difficult for programs. It was difficult because you need to pay APIs to give you the financial data, right? But not if you have this visual kind of hack, yeah? So you just take a screenshot. Whatever you see, you take a screenshot of it and put it into the AI. Okay, now we have taken a screenshot. We put the screenshot there. What does the screenshot show? Once again, it shows the market cap, PE ratio over time, over the years. It also shows the if we scroll down. Okay, so actually, you know what? Maybe we put the financials there as well, because they can be useful too, right, for the analysis. Okay, so take screenshot, save full page, and now we can, like, this is a good thing, we can put as much information as we want, right? If you are interested in any stock, you just put in everything you can find in this one prompt. The context window is large enough, you can just put a screenshot there, it finds and extracts the data from the screenshot, so there's no barrier for AI to access the data, which is already awesome, right? Then you take the simple prompt, like analyze the stock, give me a unique perspective on whether it's overvalued or undervalued, assuming a 15% discount rate. So I always, like, the former, you can just write anything, right? I mean, you don't need to copy paste this exact prompt, but I think you should maybe add the term discount rate and put your personal discount rate. So if you demand 15% growth per year, so say you have other opportunities to invest your money, it could be your personal business or whatever, and maybe add a risk premium on top of it. So say if I can invest something like 10% in real estate or so, and I have this opportunity, actually the cost of money would be 10% per year. And my discount rate then would be maybe 15% or so, because I will add a risk premium if I invest in stocks. So I always use 15%. It's not even highly rational, but I think it's a solid bar. And you should add your discount rate. Why? Because then it will also give you a free cash flow analysis, which is, I think, the best way to analyze stocks. Still, it's like a Warren Buffett approach to investment analysis. What cash flows will the business produce from now to Judgment Day? He was always saying like this statement, and put them all together, discount them to the present. So because future cash flows are not as valuable as today's cash flow, because cash flow if you have cash flow today, you can put it into an investment and it generates you money, right? So cash today is more like $1,000 today is more worth than $1,000 in 1 year. And how much more worth? This is basically your discount rate. And and just then it just sums up over all these cash flows, future cash flows, discounted to the present, and gives you the value of the company, right? And I want ChatGPT to perform the task. Okay, so let's hit enter and wait for completion. Okay, so we have it can take some time, right, to finish. In my case, it has analyzed the stock for 8 straight minutes, and it has not only used my data, it has also researched and enriched with additional data from the internet, and it was really understanding my question very well. And I would say it's much better than the previous versions 4.0. And also, admittedly, I tried the same with Grok, and Grok didn't want to answer me, right? It's maybe I tried Grok 4.1 beta, so it just broke. Like me asking the question, it just broke, and it didn't work with Grok. So okay, so I think ChatGPT is the way. Still, I use a 5.1 thinking model, and it really understood my questions. What has to be true for me to earn 15% per year from Nvidia at today's price? This is really, it literally understands my question very well. And I mean, I could not, if I paid a financial analyst, I would be happy if they understood my questions and my intention as well as ChatGPT. So now it gives me where is Nvidia today, market cap 4.4 trillion, so a huge company, the biggest company in the world. The trading 12 month free cash flow was 77 billion, right? So every year this asset generates 77 billion in free cash flow. So it really understands discounted cash flow analysis. And this asset, I mean, an asset that pays you 77 billion per year. So if you would buy this asset for, say, 770 billion, then in 10 years you would get your money back, right? But it's not like you don't need to pay, you cannot pay 770 billion for this asset. You need to pay 4,400 billion. So it's much more expensive than 10 years worth of cash flow. So why is that? Of course, it assumes that there is some growth. So the free cash flow yield currently, so this year's cash flow, 77 billion divided by the market cap, is 1.8%. So this asset only yields 1.8% per year if you assume no growth. So almost all value, and ChatGPT understood this very well, has to come from future growth. So now we can actually construct the reverse DCF. And this I can already see this is better than the previous version, ChatGPT 4.0, because I needed to prompt it to do this reverse discounted cash flow analysis. It didn't do it of itself, right? It didn't came to mind of the previous version. But this version, it like self-prompted and found out that what I'm actually interested is, what is the growth rate implicit in the market price? So because the market is kind of rational, it assumes that Nvidia will grow. And I also believe, like most people believe, that Nvidia will grow, and everybody believes this, and that's why it's valued much higher. What are the assumptions now implicit? And it does this reverse discounted cash flow analysis, assuming my discounted cash flow of 15%, the time horizon of 20 years, and the terminal growth rate of 3%, which is roughly GDP, gross domestic product. So the whole economy grows by 3% every year. I don't think this is true. I just think the money supply expands by 3% per year in a way. But okay, I think it's probably even higher. The nominal growth is probably even higher than 3% because of the expanding money supply, and also we see of many good. But okay, I mean, let's go with these numbers. Constant growth implied by today's price is, if you assume one constant free cash flow growth rate, and this is a key sentence, for the next 20 years, the growth rate that makes the discounted cash flow equal to the current market cap is roughly 21% free cash flow every single year for 20 years. So almost nothing grows by 20% for 20 years. I mean, some assets do, right? But I mean, yeah, actually, ChatGPT tells it better than I could. That's an insane compounding task on top of already huge scale and margin. If it's not impossible, AI is weird and path breaking, which would also be my takeaway. But it's the kind of trajectory usually associated with small startups, not the world's largest company. And last time I did this analysis, like a year ago or so, with ChatGPT 4.0, actually, Nvidia was significantly cheaper than today. So the question is, what has changed today, right? Is it worth, say, twice the amount of the last analysis? And yeah, if you assume strong but same growth between years 1 and 5, you have 25% free cash flow growth, and then years 6 to 10, 12%, and then 4%. The fair value would be only 2 trillion, but we are already at more than 4 trillion, right? So it's not like this strong growth story would not be enough to justify the price of Nvidia today. Years 1, so we need to like borderline heroic growth. Years 1 to 5, 35% per year, 6 to 10, 18%, and 6%. It says it's extremely optimistic. I mean, I think there is a story for a 10-year growth rate of 40% or more, compound annual growth rate. I think it's possible with AI, right? Because it's like AI is AI. It's weird. It's unconventional. We have never seen something like this. It could happen, but it will be very volatile. It will not go in straight line up, and probably currently it's maybe a bit overvalued. I think I truly think, like, as ChatGPT, I mean, I'm very optimistic, very bullish in AI, but currently it's like the market has not really stress tested these valuations, and I probably think it will stress test these valuations. So fair value, according to ChatGPT, is 3.6 trillion, about 82% of the current market cap. So it will basically go down 18% to fair value. It might go down 18% to fair value or more to become in the cheap values, to go into the cheap value zone. It could go down anytime, right, by 18%, and it would still be fairly valued. So the key takeaway is, even if Nvidia absolutely crushes it for a decade, my 15% required return still wants a price 20 to 55% lower than today, depending on how optimistic we are. And yeah, so it's just like Nvidia is not a secret anymore. They're pushing on all fronts, right? But everybody knows it as well. It's the biggest company in the world, and it will be tough to like make this 15% to meet this 15% growth rate because of cyclicality, capex intensity. We have competition. Everybody's now generating chips. I mean, it's like everybody sees how important it is. We have governments pushing chip production and trying to become independent of other governments. So we throw money at this problem as much as we can, and we might have other limitations in the system, like getting the money, getting the energy and stuff. And if we don't get the energy, how can we scale up chip production, right? If we it doesn't make sense to produce more chips if we have not yet deployed the energy to actually run these chips with. Otherwise, we just have chips in a factory somewhere, but they don't run because we cannot yet provide the energy. So there might be other bottlenecks hindering the growth of the chip productions, even though the demand for chips would be huge and we need even 1,000 times more compute. The current bottleneck in the system still is chips, but it will soon become energy if we continue to grow as much. And energy production is a bit smaller, like the growth rate of energy production is smaller than the growth rate of chip production. So we will probably run into these kind of energy limitations, in my opinion. Nothing of this is investment advice. It's just me talking my assumptions here. But last time I had this Nvidia discussion, Nvidia was significantly cheaper, and so we can check the stock actually. Let's go. Like Nvidia stock. Now, when I did this video the first time, it was almost like 1.5 years ago. So let's go in the 5-year chart. 1.5 years ago, it's like here in May, sometimes here in 2024. So we have had like almost 2x since then. But now I think, I mean, we might be a bit, we have actually done a 2.5x. So now I think we are a bit overvalued. And this is not only my opinion, but also ChatGPT's stock analysis. So overall, I think it really does a great job now, better job than all the other AIs. And this is just the base model, the 5.1 thinking model. You can throw the agents at it. You could put in more data, right? I just used one screenshot. You can put use multiple screenshots as inputs to the analysis, and it can already do the job of a 6-figure, white-collar, very intelligent employee. And it will only go crazy. I mean, the AI disruption is crazy, and I'm really bullish also long-term about Nvidia and Tesla and all the other AI stocks, Google, the main players. The big, it's the big will get bigger, right? I think it's winner takes most market, and the AI story has just begun. It's a very revolutionary time. I would be careful investing in Nvidia though. For now, no investment advice. It's just like my personal viewpoints, my personal view, and I also currently don't hold any Nvidia position. Okay, if you like these kind of AI talk, then check out my newsletter, Finster AI Nuggets. I will give a link in the description below. It's free. We already have 130,000 readers, so it's like a significant newsletter, one of the biggest in the industry. And also check out my SHIP community. We ship 1 AI projects every month. So the goal is to help you find accountability, find a community of like-minded builders in order to set your goals with them and work on your goals, create your own projects using AI, ask for help, and just have some like-minded people. It really helps. I mean, you are the average of the 5 people you are around with, and oftentimes we don't have a very motivated people around us, right? So we need to find those online, and this is one of the groups where we are positive. We push each other to success, and you can join anytime. It's really inexpensive. I just have a tiny barrier to entry. It's like $5 or so that it is not swamped by people, right? Because I already have had some free communities, and the problem with free communities is that you just have thousands and thousands of people in it. And I just started this one. Currently we are small and nimble, 16 members. I have multiple other communities, like the Finster Premium members, with a lot more, 2 orders of magnitude more people. But I think from time to time it's good to have something new, something fresh. And I also invited my premium members. Some of them joined already, and some will join. I think it's a small group. It's a positive group. I just started it, and I enjoy talking to you personally. So check out the SHIP group as well. And I would appreciate it very much if you like this video. Give me a like and subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video. Bye.